Waters World is on tonight. After Hillary Clinton's crushing defeat at the polls, how are Democrats dealing with it?
I'm scared. Really upset. He's a loose cannon and he's going to get us in trouble.
Also, Donald Trump on a collision course with the left.
Get a real angle. You're a hack. You are everything wrong with this country.
And Waters World is collateral damage. And turkey, stuffing, pumpkin pie, and football. But what is Thanksgiving really all about? Why did the Pilgrims come here?
To spread their empire. New land, gold.
Waters World begins right now. Welcome to Waters World. I'm your host, Jesse Waters. President-elect Trump easily won the Electoral College vote, but still thousands of liberals across the country don't want to accept him as our next commander-in-chief. They've been protesting, signing online petitions, threatening to move to Canada. You name it. So, I decided to head to Philadelphia to see what it is that people are so scared about. President Donald Trump, what do you think?
I think it's stupid.
I cried. I'm really disappointed, honestly. I'm scared. Really upset. He's a loose cannon and he's going to get us in trouble.
I feel like I'm kind of in mourning for America.
I'm really upset about this. It really instills that there are a lot of homophobic, racist, ignorant people in this country, and it's very scary.
Do you want a hug?
Thank you. We're trying our best.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
I feel as though he just want to destroy the community.
Did you vote?
No, I didn't vote.
I feel like President Donald Trump is going to doom the black race. I feel like him being a president is going to start a race war.
Pray for Donald Trump. For those who don't like Donald Trump, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you and do good to those who hate you.
Donald Trump was persecuted, kind of like you.
Yes.
You guys have a lot in common.
Yes. God bless the USA. God bless Donald Trump.
He will be my president come January 20th, but he'll also be a president that I will plan to hold accountable to what he promised.
Did you hold Obama accountable too?
Well,
how angry are you that Trump is going to be in the Oval Office?
I feel very angry about Donald Trump winning this election, and he should not be president. He's unfit to be president. I might move to Canada.
You might move to Canada?
Yeah.
You sure Canada wants you?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Are you considering moving to Canada now?
Definitely not. I'm going to fight for change here. We're going to mobilize here. We're going to take action here.
But can you consider moving to Canada, please?
I mean, Canada's a nice place. It's obvious that a lot of people are scared in America.
You know who's really scared? Hillary. Because Trump's going to lock her up.
Bye, Felicia.
How'd the left blow it so badly?
Because Hillary's a terribly unlikable candidate. She is a corporate shill. She is, like, boring and unlikable, while someone like Bernie Sanders is, like, you know, electrifying and galvanizes voters.
What do you think Hillary's going to do with all her free time?
She can run for another political office.
Probably not.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
What do you think Trump's going to do as president?
He's going to think he has all the power in the world, and he's going to...
He does.
I think it's going to be a war soon, too. It's going to be a war.
If there's a war, at least when Trump's president, we'll win it. What is your biggest fear for a Trump presidency?
That he's going to mess up Social Security, Medicare, and...
Aren't those programs already messed up?
Yeah.
I'm really sad that millions of people could be left without health care if he repeals the Affordable Care Act.
Were you upset when Obama initially took away millions of people's health care?
Not particularly.
Have you been medicating yourself?
I've just been continuing to voice my opinion and not step down.
A lot of people are, they are seeing like counselors in school and stuff, and mostly it's, all about attitude and not backing down.
Do you guys want to go to your safe space right now?
Like what? I'm confused.
Do you know who I am?
No, I don't.
I'm Waters.
Waters?
And this is my world.
Oh, cool.
Philly liberals aren't the only ones freaking out about Mr. Trump. So is the mainstream media. I recently spoke with Dinesh D'Souza, the author and filmmaker behind Hillary's America, to get his take and to predict what kind of collision course we're going to see between President Trump and the Democrats. So, Dinesh, I have a quote here from NBC News that says the Trump team is shaping up to be the least transparent administration in modern day history. I don't even know how they know that already. You have people going in and out of Trump Tower with cameras everywhere. Everything is open for everybody to see. And you have them saying, too, the transition is in chaos. And I'm not sure why we shouldn't even believe the press now. They've been so wrong for the last year and a half. What is going on with the media right now? They seem completely disheveled.
Yes, absolutely. The press is complaining about the fact that Trump and the transition team has not been leaking to them its appointments. And this is a source of great frustration because it's customary to do that. Look, I think Trump has come in from the outside. One might actually expect chaos, but what we're getting is great serenity. I mean, Trump has made some initial steps that are, I think, great. Number one, he's announced that he'll take $1 in salary. And after the self-aggrandizement that we've seen under Obama and Hillary, that's very refreshing. The other thing is, look at Trump's magnanimity, not only toward Obama, who said very mean things to him before the election, but also toward his own Republican rivals, who have also behaved in some cases very badly. He's considering appointing some of them to high positions. So this suggests to me a kind of largeness about Trump that the American people will notice.
And I don't think the media has expected this. I thought that they believed it was going to continue this kind of fly by the seat of the pants. Trump was out there every day giving press interviews, and now they see a astute, orderly, calm process, and they don't know what to do with themselves. So it's just hysterical to watch them totally break down. Now, I want to talk to you about the collision course between the Trump administration and the Democratic Party looking forward when he assumes office on three things. Let's start first with immigration. We know the wall is going to get built pretty quickly, and we're going to start deporting people. Now, I have the official release on who's being deported. He says he's going to immediately deport bad players and bad dudes, which I don't know what happened to the bad hombres, but I think the press is going to freak out about that. And now we have sanctuary city lines in the sand where people like Rahm Emanuel are trying to make a name for themselves and resist the Trump team in terms of sanctuary city funding. How do you see this playing out, this fight?
I think that Trump has the advantage here. He campaigned on this issue. In fact, he made it a national issue. So it's difficult to argue that he doesn't have a mandate to do what he wants to do. As an immigrant myself, I would like to see Trump integrate the campaign against illegal immigration with an argument in favor of what are the kind of immigrants that he thinks America should have. Because even our legal immigration policy is kind of messed up. It's a policy that doesn't attract the kind of people who want to assimilate to America, who bring entrepreneurial skills here. Other countries pick the kind of people they want to take. Trump should say that America is going to be doing the same.
So you kind of soften the harsh edge of the deportation of all the criminal illegals with some more expansive and open immigration policy on the legal side. I see that's a good idea. Taxes. This looks like this is going to fly through very quickly. We're going to see massive tax relief from in the business side for investments and personal income taxes. Are the Democrats going to go wild here? Are they going to work with the Trump administration?
Well, the Democrats have zero credibility on this issue because under Obama, they have doubled the national debt. The national debt was $8.5 trillion when Obama came in. It's well over $17 trillion now. So these are people who have shown complete irresponsibility with the public purse. If Trump can make the argument that tax cuts will actually stimulate the economy, produce rates of growth above the essentially 0% growth that we've seen over the past 8 years, I think that he'll be able to make some really significant changes. And I'd like to see him also make the case for proportional taxation. And that essentially means that everyone pays at the same rate. That provides more real social justice than the progressive taxation system that we've now had for almost 100 years.
Right. And then lastly, we have Obamacare. Repeal and replace. Trump has already said he's going to keep a few things. You know, you get to stay in your parents' plan until you're 26 or something like that, and no discrimination against pre-existing conditions. The press freaked out, said he was caving, but that's always been in the Republican repeal and replace bill. What's going to happen here? Because he can't be too painful with the American people and just start ripping people off their insurance, because that's what President Obama already did. So what's the strategy there?
Well, people are already experiencing a great deal of pain, and the reason for it is that Obama sold Obamacare through a series of flat-out lies. He said it would cost people less. He said they could keep their doctor. Now, the reality is people are essentially realizing that they're now paying insurance premiums at mini-bar prices. And this was something that Obama conspired with the insurance companies at the beginning. He told them, listen, you guys are going to be able to go nuts, and built the consumer. And so the insurance companies came on board and supported Obamacare.
Right.
So it's time to break up this racket, and I think that once again Trump has a mandate to do this, and the sooner the better.
That's right. Well, it's going to be a huge collision course going forward when this robust policy agenda takes hold. Thank you very much, Dinesh. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Coming up, assessing the damage President Obama has done to the Democratic Party. And later, Bernie Sanders supporters not too happy to see me.
Thank you for poisoning the minds of
I'm
America.
excited that you've been watching me.
Thank you for poisoning the minds of America. I don't watch you. I see you on the internet with all the other...
Personal insult. An insult to my legacy if this community lets down its guard and fails to activate itself in this election. My name may not be on the ballot, but our progress is on the ballot.
That was President Obama back in September, framing the election in stark personal terms. Well, that didn't work, and people voted for change. Now, President Obama faces a stinging reality. His legacy and his policies are on the verge of being dismantled limb by limb by President-elect Trump and a Republican-controlled Congress. Not only that, but the Democratic Party hasn't been this far out of power since the 1920s. Joining me now to discuss is co-host of The Five, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and former consultant to the Obama campaign and a principal of Clifton Consulting, Marjorie Clifton. So, Marjorie, I just want to start with you. It's clear that the Democrats and President Obama are in denial about what happened on November 8th. They're blaming fake news stories. They're blaming the Electoral College. They're saying it's globalization. Anything they can say to not face the reality of what happened. Are you accepting what happened in the election?
Well, of course I'm accepting what happened. And actually, that's not what I'm hearing in terms of the narrative around where Democrats are, where Republicans are. I mean, interestingly, this election, I think, first of all, there's been a lot of change over the last 8 years in both parties. You've seen extreme wings of both Republican and Democratic parties elected into House and Senate seats. A lot of the moderates who had been there over, a lot of periods of time had left because they didn't like the divisiveness. They did not like the tension, frankly, that was existing and the lack of ability to do anything. So this will be a very interesting time to see, now that Republicans do have that kind of control and power, what they're able to get done and what kind of response the public gets. And yes, absolutely, there's Democrats that are upset and grieving and shocked, not sure what to do. But I think it is a healthy wake-up about what is happening and understanding really the roots of what people's pain points are, people's appetite, for the way politicians work. And I think the election became much less about party and more about business as usual and wanting something dramatically different and access to the political process. And whether we have that with Trump, we'll see.
Yeah, because I haven't seen a lot of healthy discussion and internalization from the Democrats about what happened in the election. I'm seeing a lot of finger pointing and a lot of blaming this on racism. How have you seen the Democrats react? I haven't seen any ownership of what happened.
A lot of bedwetting, a lot of crying, a lot of, looking for excuses. And the problem is, it's like you nailed it. People don't get it. They did vote for change. They wanted real change versus the chump change that they've been getting for 8 years. And it's true. And you saw that in the evidence of the movement from Bernie Sanders, and you saw it in the movement with Donald Trump that swept the country. They need to not be colorblind. Look at the map, and you'll see that it was across the country. It wasn't specific segments. This is not about racism. This is about wanting to drain the swamp and clear out the bureaucrats that have been taking the hard-earned money, the dollars and cents from the families across the country that feel like they've been forgotten.
That's a good point. This was a pocketbook election, and I think the Democrats and Hillary Clinton and President Obama don't understand this was a rejection of the president's policies, of Obamacare, of the Iran deal, of having no wage growth over the last 8 years. And if the Democrats don't accept that it was a policy rejection, then they're going to be out in the wilderness for quite some time. Wouldn't you agree, Marjorie?
Well, I think you have to also look at the electoral numbers, and in a lot of the states that were key areas, how much of a margin of a win there was. I mean, in some ways it was a mandate, in others there were not. And you also have to look that there's a lot of Republicans as well who are feeling somewhat disconnected from and not really sure where the party is going. So I don't think it's fair to sort of say it's black and white and everyone's either unhappy or, you know, completely overjoyed.
Well, I think it's safe to say, Marjorie, that the Republican Party is pretty happy with the results of the election. But let me ask you guys a follow-up question. Kimberly, it seems just over the last couple weeks, we're still hearing about race baiting. We're still encouraging rioters. We are still trying to push grievance on black and Hispanic voters and women and try to scaremonger. I think the people that voted in the election were tired of this. They were tired of the anger, the Black Lives Matter, the Occupy Wall Street, and all this drama, and they just want to get the country back to work.
Right. Well, these professional protesters and agitators and criminals that break the law and commit acts of violence are the same people that were doing Occupy Wall Street, Black Lives Matter, and now the Trump protesters, never my president, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wake up and be part of the solution. Stop what you're doing. Soros needs to cut off the allowance to these juvenile delinquents and knock it off and start moving forward about jobs, about education, about immigration reform, all the things that need to be done, and responsible health care that works, that's affordable for people. These are all things that he's going to do. He's promised that, and you can already tell by some of the picks and appointments as well the direction that it's going.
Marjorie, I'll give you the last word real quick. Are you guys going to continue with this crazy protest nonsense, or maybe try to negotiate with President Trump?
I think across the aisle there needs to be empathy to what people's pain points are right now, and we're seeing that in the different kinds of ways people are demonstrating things that they're voicing as concern. In the same way that people voted for Trump, we need to empathize with the economic pain points they're feeling. So everyone's reality is different. I think the only way we're all going to be successful is listening to what the upset is about and where it's coming from.
Like the protesters in Oregon, where 70% of them didn't even live there. Oh, and didn't vote. Oops, my bad. Didn't put that on the calendar.
That's just the kind of empathy I'm talking about.
Well, it's just that.
Feeling the pain. Let's get back to that. Guys, thank you very much. Up next, I visit Bernie Sanders at a book signing, and all hell breaks loose. And still to come, a very revealing and personal interview with Donald Trump. He used to come on the O'Reilly Factor all the time, but for some reason he's been dodging us the last few years. So I went to his book signing last week to chat with him and some of his supporters. Shockingly, I was not met with open arms. Viewer warning. Why do you think Trump won?
Well, because he tapped into like a lot of anger of the middle class and working class people.
I can't fathom why anybody would vote for him.
I think it was 1/3 white nationalism, 1/3 misogyny, and 1/3 economic struggle. Mix those into a blender, you get a Trump win.
That mass is blended just the way you like it.
Why did Trump win?
Trump, because those who made Bernie impossible made Trump inevitable.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you nervous for Donald Trump?
I'm not fond of him.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. See, Fiona, wasn't that bad?
Don't talk to this. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself. Thank you for poisoning the minds of America.
You've been watching me.
Thank you for poisoning the minds of America. I don't watch you. I see you on the internet with all the other
Thank you very much.
Get a real angle. You're a hack.
Why are you yelling at me?
I hope you got your segment.
Okay.
I hope you got your awesome segment.
What are you looking for? Trouble?
Jesse Waters with 2 T's. He's deplorable, this guy knows.
I think it's okay. I think we've had enough.
Thank you. Oh, he's everything wrong with this thing.
Get out of here.
Why do you think Trump won?
He spoke to people who felt ignored.
Do you ever feel ignored?
Yes, that's why I'm talking to you.
He's a nice man.
I think if Bernie was running, I think this would have been a landslide victory for Bernie.
Bernie should have run. He would have beat him.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Do you know any Trump voters?
I do. I think that they're just really anti-establishment, so they saw Hillary as kind of the establishment candidate.
This is the end of the establishment, and right now we got the evil trolls coming out and jumping around.
It's so insane, it kind of makes sense.
How much was the Bernie book?
29 and change.
Wow!
Worth it.
Worth it?
Senator.
Sir.
Back in line. No, she said we can distribute.
Rally factor. You haven't been on the show for quite some time.
Sorry. No, we will not be doing this. Excuse me, put the camera away. Put the camera away. You can touch it. And put your camera down, sir. Sir, either you will be... Excuse me, could we escort him from the event space?
You're out. Get out. Come on, let's go.
Are you getting any girls with these pajamas?
I can't. No comment on that. I can't.
No.
I'm Waters.
All right.
And this is my world.
Awesome.
This is so scary.
All right, so here we are back with KG and Marjorie. Does that ever happen to you? These angry maniacs come up to you and verbally abuse you?
They're a little more friendly. They're a little more, let's do another picture. But poor Jesse, it looks like you didn't get an autograph signed copy of Feel the Burns book.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. I took a picture with him. He had no idea what was going on behind him.
Right.
He was a little disoriented.
The fracas. But how about the liberal open minds, open hearts and minds being inclusive?
That's right, Marjorie. I thought love trumps hate. What's going on with your people?
Just not
you know
Waters
what?
World.
There are all types and all parties, and I mean, I think we've seen crazy emotional reactions on all sides of the aisle. I don't condone any of it, but unfortunately, it's the way it is. But you did get some real good characters there. I mean, that's some great material that you pulled out.
Great characters. We will not be having her over for Thanksgiving.
The headband lady. She's really warming up to you, Jesse.
That's right. We have a thing, I think, right?
Making friends.
All right, ladies, thank you guys very much. Up next, President-elect Trump fills us in on what life in the White House will be during his time in office. And later, a classic Waters World Thanksgiving quiz. How'd the Pilgrims get here? Boat. What was the name of the boat?
The Nina the Pinta?
Santa Maria? I have no idea.
Live from America's News Headquarters, good evening. I'm Arthel Neville. Cuba is mourning the loss of longtime leader Fidel Castro, declaring a 9-day national period of mourning. Castro ruled Cuba with an iron fist for nearly 60 years, dealing with 10 U.S. presidents over the span. President Obama said the U.S. is offering its hand in friendship at this time and condolences to his family and the Cuban people. Fidel Castro was 90. The holiday shopping season starting off with a record-breaking start to this Black Friday. In fact, shoppers spent more than $3.3 billion online just yesterday. Yep, that's up more than 20% from the same day last year. And now comes Cyber Monday. A number of stores, including Toys R Us and Walmart, expanding their sales for a week. The big deal is HD TVs, gaming computers, and cameras. I'm Arthel Neville. Now back to Waters World.
Welcome back to Waters World. In the span of a year and a half, Donald Trump has gone from billionaire reality TV host to outside contender for the Republican nomination to President-elect of the United States. Many said it would never happen, but I never had any doubt. In fact, I spoke with President-elect Trump back in March about what we could expect should he win the election. Take a look. We've been doing some digging. It turns out half of your supporters only want you in the White House because they want to see Melania as First Lady.
They have very good taste.
Is Melania a fan of Waters World? I heard
she is a huge fan, and so is my son. I have a 9-year-old son, Barron, so you have a low demographic, very young demographic. But Barron loves your Waters World.
Well, your family has great taste.
They have very good taste.
How did you meet Melania? Was it love at first sight?
Well, I was at a party, and I saw this very beautiful woman, and I said, boy, would I like to get that phone number. And it wasn't easy, believe me. It took me
She played hard to get.
She did. It took me about 5 weeks, actually.
It
was not a quickie.
That's a close for you.
That's a long time.
Did you get down on one knee when you proposed?
No, but it was a pretty hard phone number to get.
You, if you're fortunate enough, will be moving into the White House. That's downsizing for you. Have you given that any thought, moving into the White House?
Well, you know, it's a special place. I mean, look at what it represents. Actually, it is quite a bit smaller than Mar-a-Lago, but these are minor details. A special place. It represents so much, and let's hope I'm lucky enough. I mean, what I want to do is make our country great again, make America great again, and safe again. You know, I'm adding now, Jess, I'm adding safe again, because I don't think people feel very safe anymore.
No.
And we're going to do that. We're going to be able to do that. And the White House is a symbol, and it's a symbol that we have to really respect.
Speaking of symbolism, President Obama returned the Churchill bust when he came into office. Are you going to get that back from Great Britain?
Yeah, I would love to have Churchill's bust back in the White House. It deserves to be there. He was a great, great man.
Also very symbolic, if you're fortunate enough to be in the White House, the first state dinner. Who are you going to invite?
I think you and Bill and the gang, right? We have to have the gang, but you have to get front row center. Probably not the Chinese to the first dinner.
Mexico, maybe?
Probably not. I mean, we won't invite too many of the countries that are ripping us off, of which there are many, but you'll certainly be there.
Family, very loyal. Are you going to put some of your family members, Ivanka, in the cabinet? How's that going to work out?
I will tell you, in terms of competence, they would be great.
Yeah?
If you look at Don, Ivanka, Eric, you know, the different folks in the family where they've worked with me in the business. We're building the old post office now on Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington. In terms of competence, we can't do any better, but I don't think so. Somehow I may take heat, and actually I shouldn't take heat. Can you imagine Ivanka as secretary of something? Believe me, they would do well.
It has a nice ring to it.
But I'd probably not.
You would have to work with the people like Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid. What's your assessment of those two individuals?
Well, I've been able to work with them over the years. You know, when I was a businessman, hard to believe, I don't consider myself a businessman. I'm a politician. I hate to say that. I hate the ring.
Yeah.
But I've worked with them and others over the years. I'm able to get along. I'm able to work with pretty much anybody. Have to be able to do that.
Very important. When I told Bill O'Reilly that I was interviewing you, he said, Waters, don't ask him anything about politics. Ask him what he eats for breakfast.
I try and avoid breakfast, actually. If I can, I'll avoid breakfast.
Really?
In terms of that, I will like have a lunch, but my big thing is dinner. Breakfast, Jesse, if I can avoid them, I'm very happy to do that.
You don't like bacon?
No, I like bacon and eggs. I mean, I do. If I have it, I like bacon, eggs. I like cereals, different kinds of cereals.
What kind of cereal
Made in the
do you
USA.
like?
It has to be made in the USA.
Okay, good.
You know, the cornflake type stuff,
Okay.
right? Raisin bran has to be right out of the fields of Iowa. It has to come. But
you getting any
generally,
exercise out on the campaign?
well, I get a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, I get a lot of exercise. I mean, it's a lot when you go from here to there, and it's walking, and it's fast walking, and you're making speeches in front of, I mean, you know, tens of thousands of people.
How's your golf game?
It's suffering badly. My game has been good over the years, but it's suffering badly. I got a chance to play about 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't a pretty picture.
Oh no, that's too bad.
No, it suffers. You have to play that game. Now, the president plays more than most PGA professionals, so his game should be doing okay. My game is suffering, and you know what? My game will suffer if I get elected, because you have to focus. We have so many things to do between the debt and Obamacare and the borders and security and the military and the vets. A lot to do. You can't be playing too much golf.
That's true. You played golf with President Clinton.
Yes.
What was that like? He's a ladies' man. You guys share stories. What's that like?
I enjoyed it. I mean, we had probably a couple of rounds over the years.
Does he have a good swing?
It's fine. I mean, it's really fine. You know, he gets criticized. He actually plays very nicely.
Yeah, he does. Does he talk about his wife when you guys are together? What does he say about Hillary?
We don't really get into that too much. And,
yeah.
you know, I would know him because as a businessman, it was my obligation to know him and his wife and everybody, including Harry Reid.
Right.
Including everybody. And something you have to do.
I just finished reading The Art of the Deal.
Good.
Not as good as the Bible, but it's close.
No, it's not as good. I agree.
You took on the NFL. A lot of people don't know that. You actually said the NFL was a smug, self-satisfied monopoly. Do you still believe that?
I proved it. I mean, because I won that whole situation. And Well, it was something I did. It was a small investment. I did it to have a little fun, and it actually was okay. I mean, I met a lot of great people, and it was an interesting little venture. But we actually had a lawsuit, which we won, but only $1.
Yeah.
I got millions of dollars in legal fees because the winner gets the legal fees back, right? So I got millions of dollars in legal fees, but only $1 trebled.
You seem like a great guy to watch the game with, but you don't drink. Why is that?
I'm not a drinker. Well, I've never really wanted to drink. I've never acquired the taste. I've never liked the taste. I've seen instances, even within my own family, where people drink too much and it's not a good thing, and I don't like it. So I've stayed away from it. I don't really judge, and I don't, you know, if people like to do it, but you have to be able to do it in moderation. And for me, it's good. Not drinking, I don't have to worry about the moderation thing.
Well, have you ever smoked weed?
No, I have not. I have not. I would tell you 100% because everyone else seems to admit it nowadays. So I would actually tell you this is almost like hey, it's a sign. No, I've never smoked a cigarette either.
Do you have time to watch TV anymore? Are you binge watching anything on the jet?
I watch Water's World. I watch O'Reilly. I watch Fox. I do watch a few others, but I don't want to tell you what they are. But okay. I certainly watch you.
Celebrity Apprentice. Schwarzenegger's taking over. Any advice for him?
Well, you know, I have a big piece of that show, and we had tremendous success. And Steve Burke of Comcast and the top people at NBC came to see me do a Celebrity Apprentice. And I said, if I run for president, I'm not allowed to do that. They knew that. They thought I was never going to run, and I did. So we chose Arnold, and I hope he does well. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you yet. It's not easy to do. You have to be very, very quick. You'd be very actually good for that. You're quick. You're a quickster. But you have to be very quick.
Maybe you can hire me for it.
You could be. If Arnold doesn't make it, I'm sure you'll be next.
Okay, lastly, we're going to give you a little Water's World quiz here. Are you nervous?
No, not at all.
You should be.
Okay.
What is President Obama's greatest accomplishment, in your opinion?
There are none.
I also would have accepted playing a lot of golf. Last question. What is your favorite show on Fox News Channel?
Well, without question, I would have to say only O'Reilly when Water's World is on, right?
Correct.
Okay, but only when it's on. You know, we're not talking about on all the time. So you've done a good job. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Trump. And remember, I'm Waters, and this is my world.
It is your world. You better believe it. Young, handsome, it's your world.
Coming up next, Sanctuary City showdown between Rahm Emanuel and President-elect Trump. Who will win? Who will lose? We will debate after this. And how much do folks know about Thanksgiving? Not very much.
Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7, Channel 115.
A Trump administration will end this nightmare of violence. We will protect American lives. We will cancel all federal funding to sanctuary cities.
President-elect Donald Trump promising to deport millions of criminal illegal aliens out of the gate and to strip funding from sanctuary cities, municipalities that refuse to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel and other liberal leaders already drawing a line in the sand.
To be clear about what Chicago is, it always will be a sanctuary city.
So we've put some real limitations on how we deal with federal immigration authorities.
I'm underscoring the fact Portland is not going to backtrack on our values. We will remain open, we will remain welcoming, and we're going to remain safe.
We have to be seen as a protector and not a deporter.
Political strategist at Schoen Consulting, Jessica Tarlov, joins me, along with Bernard McGurk from Imus in the Morning and co-host of the Bernie and Sid radio show. So, Jessica, my assessment is that these guys are just trying to make a name for themselves and stand up to Trump, trying to boost fundraising and mobilize people. But I don't think that's going to go very well, because if they want a war with Trump, he'll give them a war.
Oh, I'm sure he will. But I think they're also trying to protect millions of people who are in this country. Yes, illegally, but huge majority, not
They're
criminals.
trying to protect criminal illegal aliens within
No,
their
they're not. Well,
municipalities?
what's tricky about the wording that Trump's been using and people around him is they've changed it from people who have been convicted, which Barack Obama's deported 530,000 of people who have been convicted since 2013. He's changed it to suspected. And that's where I think liberals are having the freak out.
So if some illegal alien is charged with rape and they're being held, these cities don't want to tell the feds that this alleged rapist and criminal illegal alien is in their possession.
Because it would be racist, Jesse, if they did that. No, listen, look, Obama deported 2.5 million illegals
in total.
In 7 years. That doesn't include his 8th year. 2.5 million. And they were criminal illegal aliens. That's what Donald Trump wants to do, and he wants to get at them in these sanctuary cities. So these guys are grandstanding exactly what they're doing. That smug little weasel, Rahm Emanuel, he callously turns his back to all the violence that occurs in Chicago, and these criminal illegal aliens prey on working class and poor people, not on the people in his neighborhood where he doesn't care. If all that crime was happening in his neighborhood, I guarantee you he'd do something.
Jessica, he makes a good point, because you have the south side of Chicago just being decimated by violence, and he doesn't seem that enthusiastic about tamping that down. But on the other hand, out of the jump, he's out there standing up for criminal illegal aliens within Chicago. What about the South Side?
Oh, I think that they're both critically important. I agree. I think it's a false equivalence to say you can, he's just choosing this over that.
I haven't seen a lot of energy on the cleaning up of the South Side.
Listen, I think it's hugely important, especially when we're having a conversation about criminal justice reform and moving forward. And we have, Donald Trump's New Deal for Black America, which I think we should be paying attention to and seeing what progress we can make in those areas, enterprise zones, et cetera.
What I find funny is that when the left disobeys the feds, whether it's on weed or sanctuary cities, that's considered righteous protest and dissent. But when Republicans do it on voter IDs or baking wedding cakes, they're
not
considered...
baking wedding cakes. You guys won't bake anything for the gays.
They're considered treasonous haters, and then they get sued. I mean, which one is it? You either obey the feds or you disobey. You guys always come out on the side of Jesus.
Complete double standard. You're exactly right. And by the way, you played a clip of Bill de Blasio there. Yeah. That guy still, it needs to be pointed out every time you see his mush, is that he never apologized for the rhetoric that he exhibited, that he used leading up to the assassination of 2 cops. He never apologized for that. They should always be pointed out. He's under a cloud of corruption for wrongdoing in New York City, and now he's threatening to more illegality, defying the federal government on these sanctuary cities.
Do you think this continues to hurt the Democrat brand by siding against law enforcement and siding with the criminals?
Well, again, I think that the issue here is maybe semantics, but I think that liberals generally, and listen, I've always felt like we should do something about sanctuary cities, at least have a more constructive conversation. But yes, I think if we don't kind of go along with the law and order thing, when the map lit up red, it lit up red for a reason. And part of it was that Hillary Clinton was not the most gifted candidate, though I think she would have been an amazing president. And yes, I'm doing fine, in case you were concerned about my mental health.
How have you been? Have you been okay?
My safe space has been fantastic. My parents have been wonderful. They said we survived, Vietnam. We made it through Reagan. You're going to be okay, kiddo. So we're all good. But no, I think that if we continue to kind of turn our backs to the arguments that won this election, I think we'll be in trouble. And we were just talking about it. Bill Maher this week, the week after the election on his show, said that liberals were going to lose if we don't fix PC culture issues and our relationship with Islam. Yeah. And that is what you saw a lot of in this election.
And then bottom line is, these sanctuary cities are deadly. People die. It happened in San Francisco. It's happened in
these are
times
outlier
across the
cases,
country.
though.
Hey, listen, if you can protect one life, you should do whatever you can.
Those were major crimes, but there were minor crimes that are occurring in these poor and working class neighborhoods, and these people want to ignore it. It's about the criminals is what Trump is going to focus on, which Obama did for 7 years.
The bad hombres.
The bad dudes.
We want to get the bad hombres out of here.
I'm glad bad hombres has been dumped from the Trump lexicon. I'm sure it'll be back for inauguration.
No, now it's just bad dudes. Coming up. What's better than leftover turkey in college football? A Waters World Thanksgiving quiz. Stay tuned. What do you think was on the menu at the first Thanksgiving?
Maybe meat.
Maybe wild turkeys, pheasants.
Wild turkey like the drink?
No, that probably would have made the dinner a whole lot better, though.
Waters World Quiz is a time-honored tradition. So what better way to celebrate this Thanksgiving weekend than to just see how much or how little the average American knows about this holiday. Take a look. In your understanding, what happened during the first Thanksgiving?
The first Thanksgiving? Well, I wasn't there, so I really don't know.
Who ate together on the first Thanksgiving?
Oh, God, is this one of those quiz shows that make you look dumb?
You know.
White people.
Who were these white people that were eating on the first Thanksgiving? What were they called? The
the Pilgrims came to America? Americans fed them, welcomed them to our country.
So the Pilgrims dined with the Americans?
Yes.
The American people?
Yes.
The Indians and the Pilgrims got together.
You can't say Indians, that's offensive.
Native Americans got together with the Pilgrims and they had a big giant feast.
What do you think was on the menu at the first Thanksgiving?
Perhaps some sort of local vegetable and maybe meat. Turkey? I don't know. Buffalo? Chicken? I have no idea.
Maybe wild turkeys, pheasants.
Wild turkey like the drink?
No, that probably would have made the dinner a whole lot better, though.
Maybe, like, beets or cranberries or something.
I doubt they had stuffing.
What about for dessert? Do you think they had anything for dessert?
Maybe they roasted an apple or two.
What country did the Pilgrims come from?
Oh God, now you're pushing it.
It's been a long time since I've been in grammar school.
Europe?
Europe's not a country.
Sweden? Spain?
Italy, Spain?
Somewhere around there?
Yeah.
Israel?
Israel?
No.
Not Israel. The Pilgrims were not Jewish. And why did the Pilgrims come here?
To spread their empire.
New land, gold.
They were from the United Kingdom, escaping religious persecution.
What year did the Pilgrims get here?
1800s?
19th.
1700 something.
1600s.
You're on fire. When the Pilgrims got here, where did they land?
South Carolina.
Virginia?
New York? I have no idea.
Plymouth Rock.
Yes. And where is Plymouth Rock?
In Massachusetts.
You are incredible.
I am smart.
How'd the Pilgrims get here?
Boat.
What was the name of the boat? What was the name of the boat?
Plymouth? Rock?
The Nina, the
Pinta?
Santa Maria?
I have no idea.
That was Columbus.
Yeah, okay, well, I was wrong.
The
Mayflower.
Yes! What are you thankful for on Thanksgiving?
I'm thankful for just making a fool of myself.
Do you know who I am?
No. Who the hell are you?
I'm Waters.
Right, Waters.
And this is my world.
Snap.
Back with Bernard and Jessica. Jessica, you knew the answers to all those questions, right?
A large majority, which thrilled me. I always get anxiety that you're going to start quizzing me, so I would have been fine. I knew the Mayflower, Plymouth Rock, all of it, and all the white people.
And the Pilgrims were not from Sweden. Okay?
No, or Israel. That was,
all right,
that was pretty special.
Just before we go, I just want to remind our viewers of a little prediction Miss Julie Rodzinski made during our last show. What about you,
All right,
Julie?
well, unlike everybody here, I did not smoke a crack pipe before I came on TV tonight, so I would say math, just a little bit, but math is math. I think that Hillary's going to
I cannot wait to play tape of that.
Oh, I can't wait.
There it is. We invited Julie to come on the show to discuss this, but she was not available. Okay?
And the only thing smoking on this set that night was Kimberly Guilfoyle. By the way, the inner snowflake in me was offended by that. The only thing we're smoking now are celebratory cigars.
Oh, here we go. Did she get one even though she wasn't a Trump supporter? Here we go.
All the way. Make America great again, baby.
All right. And with that, the show's over. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget, I'm Waters, and this is my world.